Hi there, just looking at linear equations maths portfolio for students working on equations I've given for them to solve. So I hope this helps and yeah, hope it makes sense. So first up, construction quantity surveyor looking for workers on site when he knows the cost of the site, total cost. So you put that on one side of the equation. And then on the other side of the equal sign, you are going to be adding up the individual costs. So we've got labour costs and material costs. Material cost is 800, so that's nice and easy. So material cost is added to your labour cost, but your labour cost is £300 per worker, and we don't know how many workers are on site. So this is where we have to substitute the number of workers with a letter, that letter being A in this instance. So 300 times number of workers, A, gives you the labour rate, and then you add that to your material cost, and then you've got your total cost. So that's that. So first up, how are we going to eliminate all of these numbers so we're left with our letter? Well, actually you can do what we call inverse operations. So a plus 800, you can turn that into 0 by minusing 800, but you have to remember to balance the equation. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So we have to take away 800 from both sides. This is what we end up with. So we're left with this now. So now we want the A by itself. We haven't got rid of all of the numbers, so we need to now try and eliminate this 300. So 300 is a multiple, so the inverse of a multiple is division. So 300 divided by 300 should give you 1, and then that allows that isolation of A. 300 divided by 300 is 1, 1A is A. Okay, so as long as you do the same to the other side, you come up with the correct value. So 18,000 divided by 300. So I've got 6 workers. Don't forget to put workers, do not put millimetres or metres or whatever, just make sure you put the right value. What are we trying to calculate here? Okay, so just to check my answers, just resubstitute that A equals 6. We just worked it out, 6 workers. So 300 times number of workers, 300 times 6, put it back into that equation. And then as long as it balances, then you are correct, okay? Because that's what the equal sign is, it's balancing. All right. So that's that one. So if we move on to the next one, we've got 5 sites. This one is slightly more complicated because we are working out workers on each site. There's the same amount of workers on each site. We need to work out how many we've got. If the total cost of all of it is 19,000 and the materials cost is 1,500 and the labour is 500 per worker. This is a bit more complex. So what we have to do is say, well, actually, we've got 19,000, that's the total cost. We've got 15,000, which is the material cost. But then we've got our labour cost that we've got to think about. It's not just 500 times number of workers, is it? It's not £500 per worker, 500A. You've then got to times it by the number of sites. You've then got to times that number by 5. Sorry about it scooting up and down. 500 by 5. So this is how you would write it. So how do we isolate this A? Well, this is a bit more complex than the other one, but same steps, exactly the same. So first of all, get rid of this 1500 plus 1500 is eliminated by taking away 1500. So we do that to both sides. Don't forget to do it to both sides. And then you're left with this. Now this 5 is multiplied by this 500A. So this 500A represents the number of workers on a single site multiplied by the by the amount they're paid. So this is one number and it's multiplied by 5. So what we need to do is divide both sides by 5 to isolate it. Yes, so now we've got 500A by itself. So what do we do now? We then isolate that A by dividing both sides by 500. And we end up with 7 workers. So that is my answer, not a capital A, it's a little a. Okay, 7 workers. So what we want to do, check, resubstitute 7 into your original formula, your original equation, and voila, I have the correct answer because I've resubstituted it in to check. So that is my answer for this. All right, I hope that helps. Yeah, take care. Thank you. Bye.